Good morning, bookers. Welcome to What the Book. This is Cintra Sullivan, international best-selling author from Australia, land of the down under, and who we hit our crocodiles with frying pans. For anybody confused about that, please check out my timeline. Good morning, MB Davis. How are you?
I'm doing Wait, hold on. Now I'm doing even better.
There you are. Good. Well, before we get into our guest, we're still waiting for the third of our trio of hosts to arrive. But the holiday, how did you go? The anniversary?
Oh, it was wonderful. We went down to lovely old Mexico.
Yes.
And had a grand old time there. I shared some pictures on Twitter and probably on Instagram for anyone that wants to see. What a lovely room we had. And
I did see your feet beside the pool. Yeah, not jealous.
Yes.
Not jealous much at all, Mark. Not jealous much at all.
I know. It was nice and real. It was the kind of relaxing that you just have to do nothing. It was that kind of a vacation. Sit there and read and drink and yeah.
No, not talking to you anymore, Mark. Good morning, Peyton Storm. No,
Okay.
she's gone. She's gone. No, she's back.
She's so mad. She left.
She's so cranky with you. That's it. She's so cranky with you. She's like, fuck this, Mark. We're out already. Done. No problem.
F it.
Of course, while she's getting dialed in, I don't know where she's gone now. People in the studio, good morning, sir. Who else have I got? Tio, GP, good morning, good morning, good morning. Or evening on your side of the fence, or the big blue pool that we call our divider. Welcome to What the Book. We hope you enjoy. I'm really super excited about today's. I mean, I'm always excited about today's, or our guests each week. But this one, I don't know, there's something that tweaks. It's like, Mark, it's like if you get a guest that likes Star Wars, it tweaks your little creative juices. Well, this guest today tweaks my creative juices. I'm very, very excited to dive into how this particular guest writes.
Me too.
Yeah. We've still lost Peyton. I don't know where she's gone. Hopefully. Peyton Storm, where are you? Oh, hang on, she's coming back. Good Lord.
She's on her way. Here she comes.
I can see her.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. No, come on in, sweet pea. Come on in. Are you in? Are you here? Hello, Peyton. Come in. Come in and land. You were in, you were out, you were in, you were out. I thought we were having sex for a minute. Good morning, Peyton.
Good morning.
Or good evening on your side.
Yeah, I mean, does it matter at this point?
It doesn't. It is just what it is. It is just what it is. You did miss out on Mark telling us all the gory details about his relaxing vacation in Mexico.
Okay, yeah, I saw it all. So yeah,
it's rude.
It was glorious.
Yeah.
It was glorious.
Yeah. No, I'm not.
I told you, that's why she left. I pissed her off. She left, and then she finally decided to come back.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? This is not what I signed up for today.
It's not what we signed up for. No. No, there's something quickly I need to do before we get into our guests. Now, hang on. I'm pushing myself right now because, poo, bum, wee. Oh, I'm bringing out the big language now, the big language for people playing at home. When does Hell's Bells come out? It's yes, I knew. I thought it's like so close, and I was trying to quickly grab in and see which date it was because I knew it was like within days. Thursday.
Yes.
So exciting. So exciting.
I'm panicked a little bit, but I did
get
some feedback today. Well, I got some feedback today from some ARC readers, and so giving me kind of a glimpse of what their review is going to look like.
Yep.
And so I'm breathing a little easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm excited, but Thursday.
Oh, you've totally got it. You've totally got it. And we hope that anybody who follows What the Book, of course, jumps on Peyton Storm's Twitter or Instagram, or hey, let's do both and share the posts that go round, retweet it, comment on it, grab her book, read them. They're great. I can't wait to dive into the second one. I loved the first one. Can't wait to read the second one. So, yes. Well, fingers crossed we'll get all on board on Thursday, people. Yes. Good. Excellent.
Awesome. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Got my business out of the way now. Our guest today, who is in here, I want to welcome. I'm really, really, really pumped about this. Really pumped about this. And I'm determined to get names correct. I am determined. Both Peyton and I know about names. Mark, you probably do with your C, but you get that. You get that.
Yeah.
I want to welcome to the book, Shimaira. How are you?
Yay! Thank you.
I got it right? Did I get it right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you pronounce it differently in Dutch, but when I speak English, I also say my name in an English fashion. So,
Shimaira. How would I pronounce it in Dutch?
Shimaira.
Oh, get out,
Oh.
Shimaira.
Oh,
Do I do a little? Do I do a little R thing?
Yeah.
With my tongue.
It's funny because
I like it.
A lot of English speakers don't manage basically how we use the R in Dutch. So I'm used to
the roll
Shimaira in English.
Mark,
rolling the R's? Is that a Dutch thing?
I don't know if it's only Dutch but
Oh,
yeah.
I know they have it elsewhere, but I didn't realize that was Dutch. That's very cool. It's like the.
Oh, stop it, Mark! You turned me on. Stop it.
He does it. I'm just getting you back for all those times you've done it to us, okay? Just getting you back.
Shimaira. Oh, I like it. See, I could just make it so much. Oh, hello. I turned myself on. All right, now.
Oh.
Sorry, it's just going to go. It's just, Shimaira was a bit worried about being on here, and I'm just like, oh, sweetie, we got you. It's all good. We got you. We haven't lost an author yet, and we've been going for a while, so you're in gentle hands. Gentle hands. I'm really intrigued about how you write. I've dived into your bio. I've got all your bits and pieces up on display so I can have a poke and a look.
How many bits and pieces? Because
just call me Gyno Z. No, I'm just kidding. Now you write.
Jesus Christ.
I know, we just went there. I'm sorry, Peyton. I'll behave.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. Now you write, this inspires me and I'm intrigued. You write from dreams and nightmares.
a lot of the time, yes.
So how did you, I don't know how quite to word it. How did you then, because it says on your thing that you've had dreams and nightmares for, since you were in your teens. When did you decide that this was something that you wanted to pursue in a written form?
Ooh, that's a good question. When did I actually decide that part? Because basically when I was younger, I had issues with nightmares and stuff. And at some point I started to write them down in a journal just for myself. And it took a while before I decided, hey, I can also just turn these into short stories and, well, basically share those.
And it says here that you're a horror addict, which will please at least one of our people in the studio, sir. He writes horror. Yes, Mark likes horror. A horror addict. So, okay, so you say, it says here that you're inspired by dreams and nightmares. Now you're looking at two different spectrums. One, from my point of view, I go dreams are nice, nightmares are not nice. Do you lean one way or another? As a horror addict, do you lean towards one over the other, or?
Well, the thing is that when I call something a nightmare, it means it actually unsettled me and made me very uncomfortable. And if it was just a little scary or just something, can still be quite gruesome. But if it didn't unsettle me, me myself, I'm still more inclined to call it a dream instead of a nightmare. So a dream to me doesn't have to be all rainbows and butterflies.
I'm so intrigued by this, Mark. What do you think?
Yeah. So here's what I wonder, because I have this question myself, and I feel like I probably write something similarly. I don't remember my dreams or my nightmares, so I don't have that, but I tend to gravitate towards like dark fantasy and horror.
Hmm.
And I'm curious, and everybody could, you know, chime in here, but I don't know, maybe this is somewhat subjective, but where's the line between that? Is it are they part of each other? They just kind of bleed together,
What do
dark
you mean?
fantasy and horror.
Dark
Yeah,
fantasy and horror, where the line is.
yeah, what do you consider? Because I
Ooh,
think I've talked to
that's
people,
a
and it feels like depending on who you talk to, they might draw the line in a different place. You know what I mean?
that. But horror in itself is already very a gray area basically, because something that
Right.
might be horrific to one person might not be to another. That's also
Exactly.
very
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
horror. So it's also why I'm more inclined to also call myself a dark fiction writer and not horror per se, because not everything I write would, yeah, fall into the horror category, and also because it's that personal. If it's, yeah, horror or just, yeah, it's more like yeah, suspense, or indeed more like a dark fantasy, or this falls more into the paranormal section, or it's, yeah,
See, to
very
me,
difficult to draw lines.
it is very difficult to draw a line. To me, horror falls more into more of a graphic, gory factor. I'm sorry, sir. Just he asks. There's a horror guy, and he does like his gore. But to me, if in my understanding, horror falls more into the gore side of it.
Right, that's how, yeah.
Yeah, where a dark fantasy is a little bit more playing psychologically into your head, not necessarily the blood and guts of it. I mean, I could be very wrong. And as you said, where the lines are drawn is very different for each individual person as to what they trigger on. I mean, some people hate clowns and can't watch it, where, it is totally one of my favorite books and movies of all time in the horror genre.
Yeah.
Yet, for somebody else,
Right.
they couldn't possibly touch it because it's got a clown on it. So it's very trigger orientated for the individual person. What about you, Peyton?
Hmm. I kind of lean towards your definition of it. I mean, for me, I mean, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big reader of either genre, but like at just face value, for me, I would lean more towards like the dark fantasy, meaning like I can read stories where, say, creature is slashing someone into, I don't want to read about the local barber doing it. You know what I mean? So for me, that's my line. Dark fantasy for me is more creatures, mythical beings, dark angels or fall, that type
Really
of.
the fantasy.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I need the fantasy. If I'm going to go dark like that,
yeah.
I need the fantasy aspect there because a lot of horror, at least what I've read, deals with more, human. And for me,
Yes,
that's my line.
yeah.
Like I'm just like,
Hmm.
I can read a dark fantasy where, there's just completely just destroying this village and, but I can't read it if it's like, Joe from the corner store.
Yeah,
Does that
because
make
once
sense?
you make it of a fantasy creature, it becomes a step back from reality, so you can deal
Yes,
with it or
exactly.
decompartmentalize it
Exactly.
properly. I'm very similar to that. When you bring
Yeah,
it,
that's my line right there.
yeah, if I'm reading something and it's human based, I tend to put myself into it more as a reader, and it can get a little bit more trigger orientated, where if it's vampires or werewolves or reapers or whatever,
Exactly. Sure.
in my head they're not real, so it's not real, it's fiction. I can keep that part
Exactly. Yeah.
centered. Yeah. Now, Shimaira, you also says here that you write a lot with your characters that are LGBTQ plus. God, I thought I missed a letter. I'm sorry. Don't send me hate mail, people. LGBTQ plus characters. That's fantastic. How do we go about that? And polyamory.
Yep.
So you go
Oh,
right across it all.
Queer characters also because I'm queer myself, so it would be very hard for me to just write characters that are only basically straight, because I just doesn't do it for me anymore, because I'm surrounded by queer people. I myself am queer, so it's just I just write what
You're
I know,
writing
and
your
I know
world.
quear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Basically.
you're writing your world.
And
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm also polyam myself, so I also like to I want to include that more, because my first published book basically has polyamory in it. But I'm also looking now at one of my dark fantasy work in progress. I'm like, maybe I can just slip a little bit more of that into that as well. So
I love it.
we need more polyam on the shelves.
Oh, absolutely. I want to ask a question, and I'm going to ask across the board. And if anybody wants to chime in the field as well, then that's cool. Please don't get offended by this. I'm just asking because I know it's something that gets thrown up a lot in discussions where people think you should only write what you know. Yeah, I know it's a big one. It's a big like throw this shit gasoline on the fire, but it's a curiosity for me that, how we define even that. Should authors only write what they know? Where do you sit? Mark, let me throw to you first.
Oh shit! I was hoping to get more of this peer-reviewed version writing. Okay, there's another big quote. I think representation is amazing. I think it probably happens best when it is writing what you know.
Yes.
However, I think if you're going to go there and you feel strongly about it as an author, I think you can do that. I think you need to do your due diligence. I think you need to get probably some beta readers who you are attempting to represent, to give you some good feedback on that. I think you have to be responsible with what you put out there. I think you have to own that to a certain degree. You don't want to go in and harming a community, even if it's unintentional. So you need to, like Sir says, you need to do your research, and you need to get some feedback. I think that's the way to go if you're going to go down that road. I don't think it's an automatic no.
Right.
I just think you got to be responsible with it.
What do you think, Shimaira? It's a tricky one.
Indeed, it is very tricky, but because it's also like, I write about murderers, for example, and cannibals.
Exactly.
I don't have experience in that
exactly.
area.
Yeah.
But it's, I think the best approach basically is that you can write about, things that are not you, basically, but it's different when you try to write about the experience itself, because you don't know the experience itself.
Exactly.
So, when you want to write about a character that's trans, for example, even if you yourself aren't trans, you can do that. But writing about what it's like to be trans and how it is to live as someone who is trans and all the hardships and everything, that's going to be a different story.
Absolutely. See, I sit in the if I like, I can write about vampires, werewolves, reapers, whatever else, dragons, etc., because they're fictional characters, and I can make them up however I wish to make them up. There's no, while they're known, it doesn't mean that I have to abide by the known qualities of those characters or those species, so to speak. But when you're talking about identities or genders or that kind of more of a human side to it, I think it's best. Your most authentic writing would come from what you know, and if you're going to write things that you don't know, then you need to research the shit out of it before you put pen to paper and get some sensitivity readers to make sure that you know what you're doing. Peyton, what do you think?
So first and foremost, I am a cishet biracial woman. Okay, so with that being said, I completely I don't believe that it's a great thing. I believe it is a absolute must thing. Like, I don't see it as something that, maybe we should add, let's add something that, no, that's our world. That's not, I'm tired of the approach of, let me add, I don't like the token characters,
No.
right?
Yep.
So I feel like there's too many attempts, I should say, where there's a token character thrown in that appears to just kind of to satisfy some people.
Yeah.
I don't like that. So for me, I think, diversity, I mean, it's what our world is. So absolutely not everyone is going to be a straight white male. So we need our books. We need to, our readers need to be able to relate and see somebody in those books that they're like, hey, I remember I went to school with someone like this or whatever.
Yeah.
For me, and again, I am cishet female. My current trilogy does have both bi and trans rep. Okay, and so that's the important part, representation, meaning I have characters in my books that are not straight. I will never tell their coming out story. I will never tell anything that comes from their perspective that has to do with them being bi or trans, if that makes sense, right? So you can put characters in your books that are different from you, but it's a hard pass for me if you try to write from their point of view perspective in any relation to what or how they differ from you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to word this correctly so I don't spoil too much about my book, but I have a bi character. He plays a big role, but it's not about him being bi. It's about, another facet in his life. Okay, so that's where I stand. I don't like people, authors trying to write from a point of view of a character that is opposite them. Even with sensitivity writers, I just don't think that's your story to tell.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I just land on that, just because I've seen so many attempts that have just been so glaringly bad.
Yes.
And so I just feel like, don't exclude the characters. Think about whose story it is, right? So, I keep my stories in line with things that I personally can relate to when it comes to experience.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I love representation. I love diversity in books. I want to read things that are different. I don't want every book I read to be a cookie cutter romance between a man and a woman who are both, early 20s, white, living in an apartment, driving, a Mercedes. I don't want to read the cookie cutter romances time and time again. It's just, they're boring after a while. I want diversity. They don't represent the world that we live in. I think more diversity is definitely something that attracts, and it's quite often something that mainstream publishing is missing the point, and why the indie industry is so prolific, because the readership, the world wants to read what's different, what they want. They want to read what represents what they see, what they live, what they know. They don't necessarily want to read what, the Hollywoodized version of life, if you know what I mean. Am I making sense with that? I don't know, maybe. Sometimes that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just think for me, I don't know, I'm kind of over the idea of, because I feel like it's approached almost like the author should be given like a pat on the head when they add, diversity. Because let's be honest, it's not diverse anymore.
It isn't.
Like, this is our world.
It is.
I mean, it's not like, it's just still, for me, it's still too widely discussed as like this, like, awesome element to add, like, I don't know. I'm going to get myself in trouble. So
you can have the hate mail this week. No, just kidding. Normally get the hate mail. I normally get that. Oh, trust me, I'll probably get it anyway, but that's all right.
I'm tired of the participation trophies that are handed out because some author put, a black male, in one chapter of their, 30 chapter book. Like, I'm over that. I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, just fix it. Just fix it.
Just fix it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Fix
think
it.
I think one of the
It's a hot
solutions.
topic for me. It's a hot topic for me
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've seen it go so bad.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like authors have a hard time. They either make them a token character, which they play no more of a role than like the lamp in the corner, or they attempt to make them their like MC and write the entire book through their eyes. And how can you not find a happy medium? I mean, I don't get that. I
Yeah.
just feel like it so many times it's either one end or the other. There's nothing in the middle, and so I'm just kind of over it at this point.
See, I guess
Just like, fix it.
I don't ever add. When we've discussed it at depth about how weird my writing skills are, or the way I write, because I don't actually add.
Mhm.
I don't add anything. I don't get a choice about the characters. They are who they are, and they turn up and they do what they do, and I just sit along for the ride and write what I write. I don't ever get a choice about what identity they are, what sex they are, what gender they are, what their preference. I don't get that choice. I don't want that choice. They are who they are. I'm just honoured to be the one that they decide to pester with their stories. Shimaira, you said earlier, I just saw in the chat earlier, that when you dream, you get the whole experience, the taste, the feeling, the full immersion into it.
Correct.
Does this help you then transfer that into a story?
I like to think it does, because I've also been told by people who read especially my shorter stories, that it's very vivid often, and also with my longer works. Especially with the more gruesome scenes, that they really feel stuff happening. So yeah.
Because I'm looking
I
at
like to think that indeed my dreams have been helpful in that regard.
My Lord, which is one of your books. May I just say straight off, I love the cover. Love the cover. The cover is just beautiful. It sounds scary as F to me, but I love all the trigger warnings. Now, I'm not a pro trigger warning person. I am not. I am anti trigger warnings. However, in this particular case, I think they're warranted. Because it's fairly extreme. I love it. I want to buy it and read it just to see how this plays out, because I'm intrigued.
Well, if you get a physical copy, I'm sending signed book plates internationally for free. So.
Oh, lovely. I do that too. It's a great idea. Shimaira. It says here, you try to come, it says on the book, a transcended story. My Lord, a queer, erotic, gothic horror novel with PTSD and polyamory rep. You try to comfort yourself with visions of events that didn't happen, but that doesn't mean that what did happen left no scars. If I'm reading the trigger warnings, the content warnings that are with this, it's an intense story. Now I have to, okay, for those playing at home who may not be looking at it, it's got warnings of abduction, sexual abuse, graphic sex, consent is emphasized, people, consent is emphasized, kink, wax play, knife play, blood play, ooh, bondage, ooh, hello, graphic violence, gore, death, vampirism, cannibalism, and illness. Now, all right, that's some pretty heavy reading. Heavy reading, Shimaira.
Yes.
I've got to ask it, how does writing something that intense, now, and I class that as an intense read, affect you as a person? Like, how do you separate yourself from that?
I have to admit that for me, that book was less intense than my other novels.
Yeah, really?
Oh, wow.
In what way?
Yeah, but the other one, this one also has the dark romance and stuff, and so it's also like that side of it. And I actually, took it easy on the gore. And while my other novel is far more gruesome and more torture and stuff, so that book was a lot more heavy. So writing this book, some scenes were actually just very cathartic to write, especially for example the illness part. I actually took inspiration from a period where I myself was very ill.
Right.
So it was just tapping into how I felt back then, and well, what if I didn't have medicine? And because this takes place in medieval times, so how would the disease progress then?
I'm intrigued.
So
I'm really, really intrigued.
Yeah, I have it pulled up too. I'm just looking.
Yeah. I love the cover. I can't keep my eyes off the cover.
Well, like both the covers, I keep looking because on the see. Yeah, which one were you looking at?
I was looking at My Lord, and then there's
My
Folk
Lord,
Tales
and
from the
then
Hinterland.
I see they call him Lucius.
Oh,
yeah, that's the more gore-filled story.
Okay, because when you said that, it's less gory, I'm like, wait, it says cannibalism, so I'm gonna need a little.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything in the transcended universe deals with cannibalism.
wow.
Okay.
All right.
You get cannibalist sensitivity readers, right? To
Mark,
that, make sure that you. What?
I did actually do my research and looked up interviews with actual cannibals to look up how
Really?
they describe the taste of human meat.
Stop. Are you serious?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you have to do that. No, I was kidding, but no, you have to do that. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
Wow. I didn't know we could do that. Like, I mean, okay, research, yes, but, okay. All right. You just threw me with the, oh, well, I get it. Good. I'm glad, how does it taste? I don't want to know. No, I don't want to know. Sorry. Don't ask, Sintra. Does it taste like chicken?
So that really didn't make it easier for me.
Does it taste like chicken? Oh my God, no, because one of the new book that I'm writing at the moment, I've got a new series started, and there is an element of flesh in it. I didn't think that I could go ask somebody, hey, how does human flesh taste? I have done my research about what like herbs and flavors you would add to it to mask the taste of human flesh, but I had not actually asked how human flesh. Oh God, I got to do more research. And look, okay, for the record, bookers and people now here, if I get arrested, if somebody sees my Google search engine and I get arrested, you're all on my side. You're all my alibi. It's totally book related, okay? Book related. Oh my God, I'm going to get so much in trouble. Now, which one? I'm trying to pull up what you were looking at. I've got Bad Neighborhood on Amazon. I've got My Lord, and I've got Mirror Maze. What's the Lucifer one?
Lucius.
They call him Lucius. Is actually you can find it via my site. And it's a story that's currently available for free over on Wattpad.
There he is. Oh God, I like that cover too. That's beautiful. Who does your covers?
I love that one.
The My Lord cover was made by a friend of mine, and the They Call Him Lucius one was also made by a friend of mine. Different person.
They're beautiful. Like, they're really eye-catching. Beautiful.
The one of They Call Him Lucius also does commissions, so you can look her up.
Oh.
I have her link over on the. If you actually go to the story, I actually in the foreword I mention who the cover artist is.
Awesome.
I love that. Do you ever find that through your writing, that, and this is for all of us, this is going to be a question for all of us to answer. We've dived a little bit into it before, but I think it's relevant, that your writing, is a therapy base or can have a therapy base to it to help us, as authors, I think, drawing on things that we've gone through, like you've mentioned, with your depression and that you or the illness of your pneumonia, that you draw on what you know in order to work, not only write what you know, but work through things that perhaps we psychologically are still getting messed with. What do you think, Shimaira?
For me, it very much is. I actually started writing a lot of these nightmares down to help process them. So yeah, for me, that's already a big part. But also dealing with indeed past trauma things, and yeah, definitely a yes for me.
What about you, Peyton?
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think that's the case with most writers, though not everyone approaches it um, the same way that Shimaira does. Hers is literally personal, whereas some authors also just having an outlet. Sometimes we have a excess and just chaotic energy that we don't know what to do with. And I know for me, I will get wound pretty tight and I it's just, but writing that in itself will be therapeutic. So I love hearing how authors approach it because some do take very real situations and use it, and then others use it as a form of just therapy, just as just like you would use meditation or exercise or whatever. So yeah, absolutely.
I have seen you write before. I'm pissed off about something. I'm going to go kill somebody in my characters, or I'm going to go write something because now I'm pissed. I have seen that, Peyton. I have seen that. Brian says a way of processing grief and trauma without directly dealing with it. It's a great way to write it down so that you can address subjects. And even I have another author friend who writes, a lot of not teen reads, but dealing with predominantly teen problems. Young adult, but they're not, well, they are, but they're heavy young adults. So you're dealing with anorexia and, those sorts of issues, cancer in teens, dying, things like that, where, it's what she's found when she wrote these books, that it bridged between teen and parents. So if they both read the book, they were able to create a dialogue between them. So that I thought was really, really cool, that something that she wrote could bridge a dialogue between another family to help them deal with what they're going through as well, which I thought was an incredible gift. Mark, what do you feel about this?
Well, I think for me, it's kind of an all of the above. What I've noticed when I sit down to write, I can sit down to write and understand I want to intentionally write about this thing. I want to have this be a theme in my story. And then I'll have times where there'll be a theme that kind of subconsciously just appears and maybe it's something I'm not even aware that I'm struggling with, or maybe I am, but I don't think I'm focused on it, but clearly I am, and I'm working my way through that. So there's this concept of sometimes I know intentionally I'm going to go in and talk about this thing, and then there's another concept where I go in and I'll say, I don't really know what to make of this in my writing. So I'm going to write about it and figure it out how I think about it as I go along. And you learn through the process of writing. It's just like thinking on the page, but through different characters' point of view. So it's fun. It's fun because I learn more about myself through looking at these problems through the eyes of different characters and different point of views. So in that way, that's absolutely cathartic. I love doing it.
It's funny. I never feel that I'm part of my characters. They're separate entities to me. I'm very clear about that when people ask me about my writing. They are completely 100% separate to me, and I have zero influence on them and their little crazy minds that they do. However, I have had readers come to me and say, oh, geez, that character's you. And I'm like, it is not. It is not. It is totally not me. And yet, sometimes in reflection, I can look back and see aspects of things that may have been going on at the time, or perhaps have had gone on, like, previously. So I guess to some degree, all authors will have some of themselves put into there at some point, consciously or subconsciously, I guess. Although some of my characters are pretty weird, I'm not sure I'm going to admit to it too much. I have some very bizarre people in my books. How do you, okay, Shimaira, dealing with dealing with marketing, queer PTSD, anxiety, horror, erotic, trigger warnings up the wazoo, because there's a lot. Although they call him Lucius, might be the one that I'm going to buy because I'm liking the idea of.
It's free.
Well, there you go. It says here on the back, a decade of torture at the hands of the cannibal Lucius, I love that name, has left Amy traumatized, yet she remains resilient and is determined to find a way out of his grasp. She will reclaim her freedom one way or another, even if that means becoming someone or something else entirely. See, that intrigues me. How do you go? How do you go? Because marketing is something that as indie authors we all battle on a daily basis to get seen amongst the ocean of other authors that are out there. How do you go about marketing something that should be represented everywhere but isn't? How do you go about that?
Well, at the moment, I'm mostly almost every day I check some search terms on Twitter, and I look for people who are actually looking for books that mine would apply to. So I take a very personal approach at the moment, and I've had good results so far, be it in small amounts, but yeah.
So I like that idea. I like that idea of finding the targeted audience. And I mean, I think that applies to just about everything, really. It's finding where your readers are.
Yeah, because I've tried it with like a year back or something. I tried some Instagram ads and also on Facebook for My Lord then, and it was just a waste of money.
Yeah.
Because it's just very hard. Also because I have a very specific target audience.
Yeah, it's a very niche market.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm marketing horror and erotic content, and it has a lot of trigger warnings. And I mean, cannibalism is also not something everyone wants to read about. So it's a very niche thing. So yeah.
For me, cannibalism.
Also, of course, the polyam part is also very not up for everyone.
Well, I don't know why, because it's just love. But anyway, whatever. Cannibalism doesn't actually faze me. It would honestly depend on how you write it. And that would go with any of these trigger warnings. It's about how it's done, not the content involved in it. But you do have a very niche market, and I think targeting certainly would be the way to go, because your Facebook ads and your Instagram ads and all that sort of stuff work. However, they work to more of the mainstream cookie cutter factor. It's hard to find a niche market when you do that sort of stuff. Peyton, what do you think?
That's a lot. That is a lot. I mean, I see what Shimaira is saying about having to do, that target audience. I think that applies to pretty much all of us. I don't think there's any reader on the planet that likes everything. So, I mean, I write contemporary romance, of course, much easier to market than other genres that have, especially, a long list of trigger warnings. But even with what I write, I mean, it's about finding those readers. And so there's a lot of trial and error. And, I'm still making my way. And I'm constantly, every day just looking and figuring out, what's working, what's not. So I think it's an ongoing process. And I don't think there's any one like solid right answer.
No.
We just have to find
Exactly.
the readers.
It's exactly right. And when people ask me about, how do I get followers? How do I get sales? How do I get everything? And blah, 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 which is great. I mean, hey, I'm here I'm not one of those authors that, I can't tell you anything because you might steal my readers. Oh, look, readers they read everything. I don't care. They'll read us all. It doesn't matter. I'm not possessive like that. But I do put, in my opinion, had quotes on it because this is only what works for me. And even for me personally, what works one month won't work the next month. And that's the shittiest part about marketing is that there's no clear cut rules. There's no, this works and this doesn't work, because that would be really handy if that was the way it was. However,
And
it's not.
the worst part is algorithms.
Oh,
Yes.
you bring out the dirty words now, aren't you? Oh, the dirty word, algorithms. Oh, I hate algorithms. Oh,
Hate it. Hate
Yeah.
everything.
Try Twitter, put a link in it, and it sinks.
yeah, I know.
Okay,
Just anything with a link, Twitter's are like, nah.
I don't know if everyone knows this, but this is something that I found out, especially, in the beginning when I was just trying to figure everything out. And thankfully, when I first started writing and I joined, Twitter and everything like that, I had a handful of authors that basically took me under their wing. It was like, we can help, kind of get you started. One of the things I learned when it comes to posting a link, if you were to, like, let's say you go to your Amazon page and you pull up your book and you copy that link, yes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to repost it, you need to delete everything that happens after REF.
Yes.
Okay, because it gets buried because you are sharing the exact same link with everyone. So it's looked at as spam. It's not a clean link.
I shorten all my links down to get your bit.ly out. Shorten everything down.
Right. Now, but I'm not talking about using like the tiny URL. I'm talking about like get everything out of there that comes after the REF, because that's a reference code.
Yeah.
And that reference code makes it look like you're spamming, and it will be buried.
So there's so many little things that does your head in. As an author.
Yeah.
It's complicated, and I can see why a lot of authors get overwhelmed, get
as soon as
buried.
they figure it out, they change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they get buried in the details because, as you said, you get one thing going, you go, this is great, I've got something cooking, this is good, it's happening, it's working, and then they change something and it doesn't work anymore, and you're like, damn it, God. So there's no, that's the problem, is that it's forever changing. The industry is forever changing, and there's no roadmap to it. You just have to keep on prodding and trying, and some things work and some things don't work, and it's so painful. Mark.
It is.
Do you love algorithms?
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Listen, algorithms are just like a one-size-fits-all model that does not work.
No.
I'm not a fan of algorithms at all, or anything that tries to put everyone in the same box. I think it just ends up being a crappy solution for everyone. But I agree with what you guys said. You have to find a way to find your readers. I think chasing algorithms feels to me, not having walked down the road that you ladies have, it feels like the wrong path. It feels like you go there and you do that. Do what you can with it, but don't make that your primary means to like reach your audience.
Right.
I think those fundamental things was what I'm looking at, of trying to find online spaces where my people who would read my book, whether it's certain Reddit channels or certain places where they're going to be hanging out talking about things I think they might be interested in my books, and then you try to work on being a part of that community so they get to know you. And then ultimately, the ultimate would be to get them to sign up for your newsletter, right? So for anyone that's not out there that doesn't have a newsletter, you better do it.
I hate newsletters.
They suck, but I mean,
hate them.
But nobody can change the algorithm and take those people away from you.
I know,
right?
they're just so time consuming. I mean, I'm so time poor. Mark. They just drive me nuts.
I really don't send out content with that stuff, and I don't think people sign up with the intention of getting this
I think
quote
it's more
unquote
about
spam
updates.
with it.
Like what I like to do with mine, and I'm so bad about being consistent with it, but what I like to do, I keep it very simple. I wish them like whatever, say, maybe going on that month, right? So if I send out in December, happy holidays, I will give them an update on what I'm working on, what I'm looking to work on once that project's done. I will mention what I'm reading. And another good thing is to offer to give a spotlight to a fellow author. That also gives you content for a newsletter.
Oh, but you're such a better author than I am, Peyton. I just can't. I'm not committed. I'm not committed. And Brian, I love the algorithm as much as randos randomly touching me. Okay, cool.
Oh, well, I mean.
Okay. Algorithms. Do you know what pisses me off just quickly, about algorithms is, like, I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but for me, I can put up, I'll make it just about me because that way I won't end up with hate mail out of this. I can put up a post with some stupid picture on it or a joke or something that's got nothing to do with books whatsoever. There's suddenly like 500 likes, 2,000 likes, comments coming out my wazoo, there's retweets, there's a whole shebang. Yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. I put up a picture of one of my books and say, hey, I write to crickets. Fucking nothing. Crickets. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yep.
What is this? People, you have to love my books too. Love my books. I know I just went all deep then, but Jesus. It annoys the crap out of me. Is it just me? Is that just me?
Yeah. This is the experience.
It's like, come on. At least throw a pity like on my book cover. Come on. You know, you like 10 of my jokes in a row. You won't throw a pity like on my book cover? I don't mind a pity like. Do it. God. I just want to also say, Shimaira, the cover for Souls Entwined. Holy shit, that is so pretty.
I actually made that one myself.
Did you? That's beautiful. Yeah. It's so pretty. I'm looking at it going, the colours and the way it's balanced, it's just such a pretty cover.
The background is a fractal that I made years ago, and the drawing is something I actually did in high school that I just...
The background's a what?
Fancied up digitally, and yeah.
What was the background?
It's a fractal. It's fractal art.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love it. It's just so pretty. Because you're a scientist too, aren't you? You're like real smart. Not like me, dumb smart. You're like real smart. Well, hang on. Smart.
Don't ask me for directions because then it's going. Yeah, I don't know left from right. So.
I'm directionally dyslexic, I call myself, so I have to actually point in the direction I expect you to go. I can't tell you left or right without checking my little fingers to see which one says the L. I can't! I have to go, hang on, left. That's my left hand. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You work as a research technician where they help develop vaccines. You're smart.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We actually are also working on the COVID vaccine, so a nose spray vaccine, by the way.
Wow.
So no more jabs.
Nice.
Thank you.
Does this play into your writing at all? Like,
I actually did use some of my scientific knowledge to try and actually make a new plausible kind of immortal / vampire.
Oh.
And yeah, used
now
my
we're
scientific
talking.
knowledge to try and make it more realistic. So
I love it. I love it. I think that's so cool. So cool. No, Brian, we don't do Thirsty Thursday. Oh, I don't do Thirsty Thursday. Nobody needs to drink from this old cup. It's a broken old cup hung
Stop
together
it.
with just like a bit of blue tack. It's leaking and everything. It's a bad cup.
Stop.
Now we're coming to the end. We're going to play a game. Shimaira, are you ready to play a game with us? I'm so excited.
Oh dear, what kind of game? What kind of game?
Okay, well, we do a game at the end of the podcast called Booker Feud. Dun, 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 dun. We are a high budget podcast here, people, high budget, which is like Family Feud, but we call it Booker Feud for legal reasons. I have a question with 5 answers. Where 100 Americans have been surveyed to give me 5 answers. And now we're going to do where there's 2 teams. There's Team Mark and Team Peyton. Which team would you like to be on, Shimaira?
Oh dear.
Oh yeah.
I have no clue. Who's better at this?
Well, Peyton is undefeated at this point in time, but that doesn't mean that Mark has a pretty good ratio previous to Peyton joining. So, it's a bit whichever you prefer. Are you feeling a bit Markish or are you feeling a bit Peyton-y?
Let me. If I join Peyton, I'll probably bring the score down, so it might be more of an equal opportunity to both.
Which team would you like?
I'll join Peyton then. It'll be fun.
Team Peyton it is. Team Peyton it is. All right, Peyton and Shimaira, what team name would you like?
Oh, we have to make a team name?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, is it Lucius or Lucius?
I say Lucius.
Lucius, okay.
Lucius. Team Lucius?
I like that. Yes, can we? Yeah, I like that.
See, I say Lucius, but okay, I can do Lucius. I like it.
But see, I like, yeah, it's if you say it enough,
Lucius.
it's yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just wait until you read it. That's not how you go.
Oh, no, you're not going to be looking at him like that afterwards. Okay.
I'm pretending I didn't hear that.
He's a 10, but.
He's a 10. Oh, okay. Mark, what team name would you like?
Big butt.
Okay, I'm looking at the covers
Mm.
on Wattpad, and I really like this doppelganger cover, so I'm going to be Team Doppelganger.
Team Doppelganger. All right.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. So we have our question. I have 5 answers. First person in with their team name gets to go first, and we'll alternate until we pick an answer, or we pick a winner. Of course, those playing in the studio at the moment, they quite often, Brian, Sir, T.O., who else is in there? GP was in there before, quite often offer answers downstairs. That sounded kinkier than I expected, but it's there anyway. And sometimes they even get it right. Sometimes they get it right. So by all means, draw on their answers, perhaps. Anyway, all right. First question, or only question. I've lent this towards you, Shimaira, and your talents. So,
Oh dear.
First person in with their team name gets to go first, then we will alternate. Name something you associate with a dream.
Doppelganger.
Oh, Team Doppelganger's in first. Team Doppelganger. What would your first answer be? Name something you associate with a dream. Remember, this is 100 Americans, just saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm going to say...
It's going to be like macaroni.
I'm going to interpret this dream.
That's my dreams, Peyton.
I'm going to interpret dreams as also nightmares as part of that. So I'm going to say monsters.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Not
Answer.
on the list. No. Name something you associate with a dream. Is not. What did you say? What was your
Monsters
monster? Yeah, monsters. No, not on the
That was
list.
wrong.
Not on the list. Not on the list. Okay.
Not on the
Team Lucius. Shimaira and Peyton now. Name something you associate with a dream.
might say teeth falling out. That tends to be very,
Okay,
popular.
so see, I'm in a different mindset because y'all are like describing what could happen in a dream, and I'm thinking of reactions to a dream. You
Oh.
know, like for me, like I would say fear
Ah,
or confusion, something. You know.
I will give you a clue straight off the bat, because I am feeling fine and kind this morning. There is no emotions in these 5 answers.
Okay.
How's that?
So, a dream.
They're all single words. All answers are single words, if that helps. Name something you associate with a dream.
Flying. That would be. What do you think? Do you
flying.
like that one? Flying?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Final. Sure.
But, not on the list, but I will say you are on the right path. You're on the right path, though. That's where we're heading. Team Doppelganger, Mark. Name something you associate with a dream.
I'm going to say, this is going to sound weird, but follow me here. I'm going to say naked. Like, you know when you're naked in front of people in your dream? That means something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to say naked.
We don't want to hear more about your vacation.
Yeah.
Listen, man. Mexico was a good time, everyone.
What happens in Mexico stays in Mexico.
I highly recommend it. Okay. Naked.
Is that your final answer? No,
Yes.
not on the list. No naked time here. Nope, no naked. Team Lucius, Shimaira and Peyton, name something you associate with a dream.
I'm thinking something like sex or desire. Because also with wet dreams and everything, and often how people tend to dream about hidden desires or not so hidden.
How do we break the arousal?
No emotions.
Is that an emotion?
Yeah, no emotions.
Okay, but see, I was going to use a nice word for it, but okay.
Say it, is it? Say is it?
Sex.
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Is it, Shimaira?
Let's try.
It's on the list. Ding, ding, ding. It's number 5. Well done. On the board. Sex is number 5. Yeah, on the board.
Mark, what did we say?
Team Doppelganger, Mark.
Yeah.
Name something you associate with a dream. So far we have sex.
Yes. That's it. That's the whole list.
That's it.
I'm gonna go with falling. I like that, T.O. I agree with you. That's a common thing in dreams.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
On the list. Ding, ding, ding. It's number 3. Number 3.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo! Look at you go. Both on the list now. We're cooking. All right. Team Lucius. Name something you associate with a dream. So far we have falling and we have sex. Sir, behave yourself. I see your comment. Jesus.
I'm not even looking.
Don't even look at his comments. Goodness me.
Gosh.
So far we have falling and we have sex. There's 3 more answers. Name something you associate with a dream.
What about running?
Oh, that's a good one.
You're always running from something.
Yeah, or getting stuck in the floor.
Oh, no. See? No.
No. You sounded, I heard your accent so thick right there. No, I don't know. It's so cute. I love it. Is that your final answer?
I think so. Yeah, running.
Yeah.
But not on the list. No running. No. No.
What?
No, actually think these last 3 answers are far more simpler than what you guys are thinking. Mark, Team Doppelganger, name something you associate with a dream. Yeah, simpler. Yeah, think inside the box. Inside the box.
already did that. It was number 5.
Yeah. Pretty inside the box here.
Oh, Peyton.
Poor Mark.
Poor Mark.
I'm
I
trying.
never feel sorry for him. He signed up freely. Name something you associate with the dream. So far we have falling and we have sex.
Man, what else could there be? If falling is not on there, I don't think drowning is on there, so I don't want to go there. Maybe I was thinking negative things. Maybe there's a positive thing on the list. It says dreams, not nightmares. I gotta think inside the box. Though.
Inside the box, and you're gonna think quickly, Mark. Think.
Okay. I can't think of anything in particular. Bed. Tio says bed. I don't know if that's going to be in your dream or not, but maybe.
Name something you associate with a dream.
Yes. Okay, bed.
Is that your final answer?
Sure.
It's on the list. It's number 4. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, it is.
Really, really simple.
I bring it back in, people.
Americans have no fantasy.
I know, Shimaira. They're boring. My list of dream things would have been far more erotic. Name something you associate with the dream. Team Lucius. Lucius. So far we have falling, we have bed, we have sex. I mean, that's the only erotic thing that they dreamt of, that they even said was sex. I'm like, oh, but there's so many different. Anyway, okay, back to the game. Name something you associate with a dream.
Saying sleep, and I think that might be fit for these 100 boring Americans.
I love it. I love you. God, you're great.
I want to be mad, but I can't.
You can't be mad right now, no.
I really can't be mad. She's totally right.
Team Lucius, what do you think?
It's all the people in the comments, like, who said it all?
Exactly.
What do you think, Peyton and Shimaira? I need an answer.
Are we going to go for Peyton? Are you still there?
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your answer?
You want?
Sleep.
Sleep? Is sleep your final answer?
Yes.
Yes.
It's top of the list. Ding, ding, ding.
Oh,
Top of the list.
It had to be next after bed. Right?
Oh my God. I love it. It's just so beautiful. We're at 2 apiece. We have a tiebreaker situation.
Oh,
Tiebreaker situation. I will give one clue, and the first person in with their team name gets to have a chance to win today's Booker feud. Name something you associate with a dream. Of course, so far we have sleep, we have falling, we have bed, and we have sex. There is one more answer. It's number 2 on the list. Something you associate with a dream. The clue is the only clue I can think of will give it away. So be really prepared with your names, people, because it's going to just give it away. Shimaira writes with dreams and what?
Lucius.
Oh.
Nightmares.
Damn it.
Team Lucius, what would your answer be?
Nightmares.
Is that your final answer, Shimaira and Peyton?
Yes.
You can think about it longer if you need to change your mind. I don't think Peyton's not sounding too sure. You might want to talk about it with your partner.
No. Shimaira chimed in. I was like, yep, we're going to ride this out.
Nightmares, is that your answer?
I'm right there.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding on the list. And you are the winners of today's Booker feud. Papa, wee. Welcome on. Congratulations. And Peyton, that you're still undefeated. Undefeated.
I am.
Sucks to be you, Mark.
This won't last. This won't last. I'll tell it right now.
He's running on the big zero.
Yeah.
Goodness me. And it's not even the big O, it's a big zero. I mean, if you're running on the big O, that would be a whole different thing. You'd be a lot happier, but that's, you know, you have been to Mexico, so it does end in a big O. I got to get back on track. Congratulations, Team Lucius, Peyton and Shimaira.
Yes.
Congratulations on your winning of Book a Few today. Well done.
Thank you. Yes.
Now, Shimaira, thank you so much for being here today. I find you completely and utterly fascinating, and have pulled up that the freebie read for those playing at home. Go grab it. Fall in love with Shimaira's words. You might need a stiff drink, I think. But you know, before, during and after, yes.
Yes, when it comes to, they call him Lucius, there is actually a Lucius challenge, because some friends of mine, they tried to read it and they noped out in the early chapters. So they made it a challenge to see who can actually finish that book.
Really?
So.
Well, there we go. Rightio.
They think it's that bad in terms of how gruesome it is.
That much.
So.
Okay.
So
now I'm interested.
It's called, they call me Lucius for those playing at home. There's a challenge. Booker's challenge. You are challenged. Throwing it down. Gauntlet is thrown down. Grab it, read it, come back, tell us about it on the Twitter page. Let's see how we go. How strong is your stomach? I'm on it. I'm totally going there. Thank you, Shimaira, for being here. You've been a delight to speak to.
Yeah, this was great fun. Thanks for having me.
And it's very, very early in the Netherlands at the moment. It's like 1 a.m., nearly 2 a.m.
Like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Oh, my goodness.
I know. What a trooper.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go straight to bed.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Peyton, of course, you're adorable. We love you. Thursday. Hell's Bells. Let's get on it, people. Yes. Bookers. We support our own. Yes. Get on there, retweet, comment. Buy, purchase, you know, all the good stuff. Mark, of course, welcome back to reality.
Yes. Thank you. Quickly,
what?
Do we want to mention the poll really quick?
Oh yes, the poll, quickly.
I was just thinking about that.
Yep. Yes. Chuck it up.
Quickly before we head up.
Well,
okay. So we asked people if you're writing multiple books in a series, do you prefer to release one at a time or rapid release, meaning you stock them all up and chunk them all out within a short period of time? And let me pull it up. I believe it was like really high in favor of one at a time.
Yeah. So I'm a one at a time kind of person. I have to. It spends. For me personally, it keeps me going. I want the feedback. I want people to read it and love it and make me want to write more of it. Tell me you love my characters. I want it all. Of course, it probably plays a little bit easier if you're a quick writer. Like if it takes you 10 years to write a book and you're writing a 7-book series, it's, that's going to be hard. But, if you're able to get, 1 or 2 books out every year, you can keep your interest quite well with your readers over that time. Right. So I'm a bit of a write it and get it out there. Write it and get it out there. Having said that, I have like 4 at the moment waiting to be released. So, but they're not in a series. They're standalones. They're just hanging. They're just hanging in the air at the moment. I don't know what to do with them. What should I do with them? I don't know.
I say publish them if they're ready.
They are ready.
What are you doing?
I've got 4. They've got covers. They're edited. They're ready to go. I've just got to press publish. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Do it.
Well, we'll get there. I will probably do what I did last year and do, I think I've spoken about it before, where I won't release anything for the first 6 months of the year, and I'll just write. And then I'll release, 5 or 6 books in the second half of the year, and that sort of, it's a rapid release, but it's not in a series factor. They're just ones that I've just been writing in my off time. So it gives people time to cleanse their palate off you, and then when you do start releasing again, they're sort of hungrier. In my opinion, people, just my opinion, they get a little bit more hungry for your words when you sort of pull back a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Book throating doesn't work.
I like that.
I don't like to be book throated by anybody. I'm gonna like get that on a t-shirt. Book throating. Don't do it. All right. Love you all, people. We will see you next week. Time, same. Oh God, the things I say, I get myself into so much trouble. Same podcast time, same podcast channel, different podcast guests. See you all next week. Until then, stay safe, write well, and we love you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.